we're going to work on our adult self-defense. So for our adult class, we have each week a new self-defense that we go through. I highly recommend just reviewing it for memorization at home. However, let's work on some key details. Let me borrow Mr. Petro. He's going to be the one attacking me today because you know what? He's earned it. The first one we're going to work on is going to be a single shoulder grab. Now, what I want to do, I want to take my hand up and my elbow is going to be down, pinned in toward my body. It doesn't really have to bend him that much, but the mistake you'll see a lot of people make is they leave the arm floating so they don't get enough of the pull to come through. I take the hand, I bring the elbow down, and as I step, I'm going to step back with my hip. What we're working on is going to be a palm strike to the face. You could also do like a chopping or a strike in. The thing that this technique really brings to light is that traditional chambering position, that returning hand, the hikite in Japanese. So if I do a traditional step back side stance for a high block or a center shot, boom, I'm here, right? Really here, but everything is attached. What I want to do is, because I've got that settled back, I've got the pin in, I step back and I'm going to strike at the same time. So I get a push and a pull. And from here, once I've hit him in the face, I could continue softening him as much as I would like, like a good moisturizer. Then I could bring him in to a knee strike. I could transition to a guillotine. It really doesn't matter. The key is for this is the self-defense I like to practice the most for getting away in a martial way. The mistake people make is they get to here and they think the fight is over. And then they walk away, they pick their nose, and they pick their toes. Not great! So even if your finishing out is, starting to step back into a guard, even if it's a high guard, doesn't matter to me, but we got to do something. For some fun options, you could do the strike here, you go to the guillotine. There's some if you're a kicker, nice kicks to the body. There's a nice side kick in there as well. Or you can go into a couple of fun takedowns, in, up, under. I won't throw you today. Fine, I'll throw him today. He likes being thrown. Anyway. That was fun. I like that.
I didn't go over you. I went around.
Fine, I'll do it again.
That's not what I was.
There we go. Thank you. You got a concussion next week. That's it. Now,
I didn't touch the gun. I took my chin.
fine. So, some of that's going to make it in the final cut. Some of that's just going to be in the blooper reel. I hope you enjoy it. Now. And up, under. Now. Self-defense number next. We are going to work on a back shoulder grab or choke. Two hands, same thing as the kids. I stick my arm up, I step, I turn into him. From here, this is where we start getting a little different. I would do my palm to the face, and I'm going to choose to circle this arm to get into this framed position. Why? Because I want it to be a consistent solution. I fire my knees. Once I have softened him up, I get away with my guard. Level 2 for the back shoulder grab, the arm comes up. I step, turn, and instead of going over, I'm going to circle my right hand down. Shoulder's going into his armpit. Right hand's going to hug around the body. Left hand comes in. And from here, I can just drive and put pressure here. Or I could choose to go through like an outside sweep takedown as I run him down. And I can try to bring him falling onto the ground. I know that's Mr. G and Petro's favorite. For level 2, let's get a little bit closer so we can kind of see that turn. I'm up, I turn, my guard is here, palm, palm. I've got to get underneath, shoulder to armpit. Right hand comes around the body. I'm putting my ear right into his armpit, listening to see if, he's got a weird second heart in his armpit, I don't know. Left hand comes in, underneath, and I'm going to push and pull him like I'm a little teapot. I'm going to take this foot. He's going to come with me. Boom, down. I'm going to choose to walk down a little bit. Like that. And you could get to either top mount or a side mount, depends quite how you fall. Just be careful as you do it. I put my weight on him instead of driving my face into the floor, which would be non-ideal. Are we recording?
Yes.
Great. So next self-defense we're going to work on is going to be the headlock from the front. So if you're ever watching a headlock from the front, there's some key details here. I step in front, hand comes up the shoulder. I actually have to roll this elbow down to get him in. I want to kind of settle through. Now, first off, this is for the adult self-defense. I'm gonna level with you. If you're an adult and you're getting headlocked, where are you? Let's be honest. How'd you get here? Now, if you are gonna get here, what we're gonna do? Thank you for headlocking me. I'm gonna get settled down. I'm gonna pull this in here. What I'm gonna choose to do, I'm gonna take my left hand. I'm gonna find his face. Now, in reality, I would be sticking my fingers right inside of his lip or his eyes, whatever I can grab. I'm not gonna do that because I like my training partners. I'm gonna take my hand. I'm gonna push it. Instead of thinking just up, out, I want to think like it's circling up, out, over, and around. I drive my hip forward. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to drive him back, down, to the floor. Working with a partner, of course, you want to get into control. I can get into an arm break here for Sambo. Or Sambo, step over, kick face, break arm. Or you could get into some more controlled positions from here. One more time. From here. Hand hugs. I look toward him. In. I'm going to hug all the way around if I can. I get set. Once I'm set, hand's going to extend up to the face. I've got this thumb under his chin to help you demonstrate. Really, I'd be like trying to get my fingers right up in his mouth. Whoop. Anyway, now, hips up, head up, and my hand goes out and forward. I'm going to drive down. Even if he holds on, by the way, now I'm in a better position to break the strength of the headlock. I can frame, even if he's holding on, by the way. I can frame, I can step over, and drive. So it's a really good position once we get to the ground. Yeah? We're going to focus from the stand up. So if I was doing it in the air, pin, hug, wrap, and it's up, over, and I'm going to follow him down. So the last self-defense for this cycle we're working on is going to be a overhand weapon. Overhand weapon, a lot of people think knife, but in reality, it's usually a weapon of convenience. So if somebody runs and grabs something, Mr. GMP is going to run and grab a random overhead weapon that he can find near me, and he's going to be like, attack me with it. Oh, wonderful. It's a water bottle. Is it the best weapon? No, but man, would it hurt. He's going to swing down. I want to get low as this is happening, and I come up. I want to block into the arm and strike into the face. Once I'm here, level 1, I go to my side of him, into my side clinch, and I soften him, or give him a nice, what we refer to as tenderizing. 1, 2, 3. Once he no longer is a problem, I can knee him in the face one last time and get away. Now, one more time for that level 1 version. He sews in. I go forward. Notice how I have to aggress. I must take control of the arm. I hook if you come to the other side. After my block, I hook so I can get that control while I'm kneeing him for, ever. Excellent. Now, level 2. As he swings, I come in. I circle this arm after my strike. I bring him down and in. Whee! Right there. I'm going to grab my own wrist. I could go under or over. Doesn't matter. I grab my own wrist. I mean up, forward and down. I get to a nice standing guillotine. I prefer for control to go over the arm. However, I get a much tighter choke when I'm arm out. That's just me. He swings, I come up, boom. I aggress forward, I got my circle. I could even throw some knees before, but if he already's down, I like going in for the choke. Get set, hips up, elbow down. Excellent, thank you, Mr. GMP Trip. Excellent, good job. That's our self-defense for this cycle. Be aware that we want to make sure that we've got the drilling down so you know the technique. But at the end of the day with self-defense, if you did something and you got out of the dangerous situation, you already won. You've earned it. Make sure you subscribe. That way you can keep up to date with all of our curriculum material and more training and instructing tips for you as our students and leaders. Really important. If you have any questions, leave a comment down below. See ya. Back, elbow down is going to be the easiest spot. Now, you can tap. He's teenagers. They're like I told him this beforehand. So when working with your partners, what do you do when you start to have a choke pressure being applied and you're like, oh, I'm about to pass out? You tap, right? When you're like, okay, and I would just relax. Now he's making excuses. Now he's like, oh, Master McGill, you just spun me a little bit too much. We did one spin, Mr. G and Petro. One. So I don't even know. By the way, this is going 100% the blooper reel. Like right now, our camera operator is desperately trying to not wiggle or move because she's losing it. Because at the end, like she watched him do it. You're watching him slowly. I'm like, you can tap at some point. And I'm like, okay, let me just let go. And he's just like, oh, by the way, I'm dizzy. Let me like pass out on you. Teenagers. I need something that looks like a weapon. It's not a weapon. Ah! Can we play this footage at my 5th degree? You gotta settle in the B mark. Beep, whoop. Beep, whoop. Why would you it? You messed up my hammers, Jimmy. How dare you? You kick up. It's like a whack-a-mole. I'm glad that you're still on board. I've tried so hard. Now look at the camera. He's behind the camera.